Welcome to Financial Focus, brought to you by Gulf Coast Financial Services founder and CEO, John Kuyendall. John and his team of financial, legal, and tax professionals have provided North Florida savers and investors sound, comprehensive financial guidance for over 25 years, helping you to achieve important life and planning goals. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more Financial Focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net.
And welcome into the program. This is Financial Focus, brought to you by the best of the best in financial services, as named by the Lake City Reporter. 6 years and running, serving savers and investors across North Central Florida. The team from Gulf Coast Financial Services, founder, CEO, here providing the advice, the guidance, the information, John Kuyendall. And John, we always appreciate your time here on the program. Happy Independence Day, 4th of July holiday to you.
Oh, yeah, Peter, this is a great holiday. I'm really excited about the 4th of July. It's not only the fireworks, but, it's what the 4th of July means. It means independence. And this was the day that the United States became independent. And I think it's just so important to us in our history. But also, I know that we're going to talk about financial independence, which is certainly very important to our listeners out there.
Yeah. Great way to tie it in, because, John, that's literally the essence of what planning is all about, trying to establish our financial independence. And we spend a great deal of our lifetime working, trading our time for money to try to build to the point where we can become financially independent. And if we've got a plan, maybe we can stay that way.
Well, let's hope so, Peter. I think that a lot of people think that, as we have forever to save for retirement, and it's going to be something that's too far out. And, that's not the case. I mean, retirement's coming upon us. There are only a certain number of years we can work. We know from all the studies we've done, the sooner we start saving, the better we're going to be and the less money it takes in the beginning.
Sure. Because
of the power of compounding. So, it just makes the difference that we start early. We get a financial plan. We figure out how we're going to set up our retirement. Because the one thing about retirement is you can't depend on anyone else but yourself. I mean, you are going to set up your retirement, and that depends on whether it's going to be the kind of retirement that you're dreaming of or the retirement that you're just going to subsist on. And I don't think anybody wants that. I mean, when we get to a certain point, I certainly don't want to cut back. I like eating. And so I want to make sure I got enough food on the table and, I can do the things I want to do while I can still do them.
Yeah, well, I think in retirement and really in any stage in our life, confidence is quality of life. During our working years, maybe the confidence that our job is secure and going to be there and we're going to get that next paycheck, that's what creates our quality of life. But in retirement, it is the plan that creates the confidence that gives us that quality of life. And John, studies and articles and surveys are actually saying that Americans are less and less confident about their quality of life in retirement. And it's in large part due to facing some different factors, different circumstances, but at its essence, maybe not having that plan that addresses those risks.
Well, I think that's it, Peter. I think, that we are, it's kind of like the old way when we used to, before we got GPSs, a man would drive forever before he'd stop for directions because they didn't want to feel like they were embarrassed or, I don't know, it was too macho or something. I don't know.
That is a gross stereotype, John. It's always the man that wouldn't stop for directions, right?
Well, yeah.
Probably.
You're right, because my wife would always say, hey, let's stop. Let's ask that guy. Let's ask that woman. But me, I just keep on driving. And so I think a lot of people about their retirement are the same way. They want to be able to do it on their own. They feel confident that they in their own ability. But the problem is that we all need a good coach. And that's what we're doing here with the plan is we're really coaching them. We're being, they're loose Saban on the sidelines, helping them to reach the objective, to reach the championship. And that's retirement. And what is it, like 60% of those boomers that were surveyed weren't confident in their retirement? I mean, that's a large number.
When somebody comes in there, John, how many of them on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know if you ask it in this exact way, but if you were to feel like they are a 10 out of 10 in their confidence and their preparedness for retirement, I have to imagine almost none, and that is in fact why they are in your office talking to you. But how many are maybe 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and you help them to complete the plan, maybe spot things that they need to address that bring them up a peg or two on that scale?
Well, you're right, Peter. I've had very few people come in and say, hey, look, I know I can retire. I just want to give you my money and I don't need any help. Most of the people that come in are really amazed that when we look at the plan and look at what they've done and we can make a few tweaks to it, that they're amazed that they can retire. I mean, I don't know how many people have said, I can't believe that I could retire now. And then some of them end up even working a year or two after we've told them they could leave, because psychologically they're not ready. Financially they're ready, but psychologically they need to phase out.
Is that a security mentality? Like we've got different levels of financial security, right? On the very core level, if we don't have savings, and studies show that a great deal of Americans don't have any savings, no emergency account, no retirement savings. So for that core level, the next paycheck is our financial security. And some of us, even though we've got the emergency account, next level of security, we've got the retirement nest egg, next level of security, maybe we just feel more confident in continuing to earn that paycheck. Retirement, maybe not for everyone because of that mindset of, I like the security of that next paycheck.
Well, and I think too, a lot of people like to stay active, the social aspect and everything else. But, the thing is that you'd be surprised at the people who we tell that, okay, we've got the plan worked out. This is your plan. This is what you told me you want. This is what we can do. And they say, well, that's fantastic, but I'm going to work another year or two because now I know I don't have to work and I can quit anytime I want to. So it's kind of like a relief to them that they get to enjoy work instead of worrying about work. And so it's just a mindset, I think. But I think a lot of people, unfortunately, as you said, the studies show that a lot of Americans haven't saved anything for retirement. And the number one reason they say is because of life. Their credit card bills, the debt is a huge factor in Americans not having any savings.
But many of us, John, fall into a different category where we have done a good job in managing with what we had and designating part of the life, the expenses that we face, designating part of that, a portion of it, to the thought that one day I do not want to trade my time for money. I want to be financially independent. I want that confidence in the plan. And so we've saved and we've put money away, and yet still we're not out of the woods completely. We've got to have that plan that addresses several key financial risks and issues.
Well, I think everything's so complex today, Peter, as we've talked about before, with taxes and with Social Security and Medicare. It's just not cheap to retire. And it's not as inexpensive as it used to be. It costs more. Inflation is going up. Taxes are going up. Medical costs are going up. So all these, we're living longer. I mean, that's a big one. So all of these things compounded, what they've done is they've made retirement more complicated, and we have to do a better job of planning that. And with the plan, we can include all those elements. The fact that you're going to need a new car in 3 years, that you're going to need a roof in 2 years. We can do those things in the plan and still show you how you're going to be able to retire.
John, going back to those articles and the studies and surveys saying people are not as confident as they once were, is that because things have changed away from the pension to the 401k? Is it perhaps because what we have been told and taught to do maybe is not working as effectively as what it's made out to?
Well, I think for one thing is that certainly, the predictable, sustainable income that comes in for life, like your Social Security check, but also like pensions, without having that pension, more of our money is relied on what we make in the market. And so a lot of people have just worried about asset allocation. And so what they try to do is bring, have everything come out of the market. And that doesn't work, Peter. We've proved that. We have to diversify We have to have a plan in place that's going to give us more predictable, sustainable income. And we have to also worry about how we're going to get the taxes. We know that the stock market, and we talked about this in the last show, it's got a 9+% return, but that's not every year.
Right.
I mean, some years we make 20%, some years we lose 20%. And if you're taking money out in one of those down years, it just means that takes that much longer for you to make it back up. So we can't use that model. And I think computers and the television and the internet have created this instant stock market now. We've also talked on the show about how we used to read the newspaper and get tickers, and they were a day late. So you were looking at yesterday's news when you bought a stock today. That we don't do that anymore. Everything is so instantaneous. It just creates that much more pressure on the stock market. It creates that more pressure on you to react. And I think a lot of times investors react at the wrong time. That's just natural.
Well, John, I know you've talked about how when you're creating these financially focused retirement plans, each one is individual, each one is specific, but there are also some major high-level areas, topics that each plan really must address. And these core issues, if you will, although the minutia of them is probably specific and individual, do you see that there are core issues that really every plan must address in order to build for and have that financial confidence?
Well, sure, Peter. And there's about 6 of them that we've talked about. One is that we have to look at the income. We have to make sure that we're covering our current expenses through retirement, Social Security maximization. Since that is our main source of predictable income, we want to maximize Social Security the best way we can. Income and expenses, we've talked about that. Formulating a spending plan, which is the income plan, really. Longevity, we got to take care of that. Inflation, those are all the parts of the income that we've talked about. Investments, we've gone over this over and over again about diversification, the types of investments we should have. We got to have a growth bucket, but we also have to have an income bucket. Taxes are going to be more and more a problem as we continue to pay for all this stimulus and all these things that we've enacted, and just the debt. We're going to have to, taxes are going to have to go up. And healthcare is one of the major items in retirement. People don't understand that Medicare premiums, I think I read the other day that Medicare premiums for a couple could be as much as $230,000 during retirement. That's a lot of money just to pay for the premium. Just because we're retired doesn't mean we're going to get free insurance.
Well, and John,
that ain't the way it works.
You were saying you just visited the dentist. Dental, by the way, not covered in that. Vision, not covered in that. There's a lot of things. Prescription drug costs, not covered in that. There's a lot that adds on to that number for just the Medicare premiums.
Yeah, and that brings it up to almost $400,000 for a couple during retirement, which is a lot of money. So it's a major thing, and we need to work about legacy. I want to make sure that all my clients have the documents they need to pass on their estates and their in a manner that they want, with the least bit problems for their survivors.
Yeah, nobody also wants to go through that probate process, be the trustee or executor. Nobody wants to do that, and without the documents and the wishes put in writing, that's just a whole additional mess of headaches and worry on that individual you're putting that burden on.
Yeah, but Peter, you'd be amazed at the number of people that come in that don't have those documents, don't have a simple will, have a will that was 10 years old and one of the spouses has died, and they've never updated it. I got a situation like that we're working with right now where the spouse died 5 years ago. We're trying to get the will updated and everything set up. So, they just don't think about that. We put it off. I think as Americans, we feel like we're not going to age, and 2, we're not going to die. Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you right now, you are going to age, because you can look at me and tell that. And I'm sure that eventually I'm going to die. I keep telling my wife it's going to be sooner than later, but we'll see. But, and the other thing is that, who is my advisor? What kind of advisor do I have? Are they telling me about income? Are they telling me that I need an income plan? Or all they're concerned about is my assets, and they're investing me in the stock market? You need an advisor that's going to put together an income plan that you can understand. And as we say here, it's a living, breathing financial focus plan that we have to address every time we have a major change, and at least once a year.
Yeah, a couple interesting points, but John, one that I do want to spend a moment, additional couple minutes maybe focusing on, is that not all advisors do the same job, and many of them have access to sort of some of the same tools, but there are advisors out there that all they do is insurance and buy as much protection as possible, take absolutely no risk. There are advisors out there that don't do that at all. They want to take risk with all of your money. There are some advisors out there that may be younger, maybe growth-oriented and minded and want to invest everything in cryptocurrencies or something like that. and then there's ones that may say, mutual funds are right for every investor. It's about matching up and finding maybe sometimes the yin and yang, somebody who's going to balance your thoughts and ideas. If you're super pessimistic about the currency and society and everything's going to collapse, maybe you don't want an advisor that is all the way in agreement with you, but you also do want to find somebody that balances with you philosophically, that you are a match with.
Oh yeah, Peter. I think that some advisors don't have. You need to look at the credentials. Mm-hmm. I mean, are they a registered investment advisor, or do they work for a company? Are they captive? Can they offer any product? What's their education? What's their time frame? How long have they been here? I mean, all those things play into it. Just because he says he's an advisor, you need to look behind that and also check their record and make sure they've been around a while. A lot of ours comes by referrals. Because people send other people to us because we're doing a good job for them or try to do a good job. And so we hopefully, the thing too is that, every client is not a fit for that advisor. And so it's got to be a fit for both sides. I've got to be able to work with the client. The client's got to be able to work with me and understand what we're doing. And I have to understand what he's doing. And so those are just some of the things that, we have to take into consideration. But certainly you need to look deeply into your advisor.
Well, as we are celebrating America's independence and the 4th of July and Independence holiday weekend here, talking with John Kuyendall about your individual financial independence and continued confidence in that independence moving forward into the future. So much of that results from and depends upon the plan. Has your plan addressed these core issues? Who are you working with? Who's that advisor? The income, the investments, the taxes, healthcare, and the legacy. Really kind of, even though each plan, John, is specific, unique, and individual, those key issues need to be addressed in every single plan. And at Gulf Coast Financial Services and Gulf Coast Tax Advantage, that's what you guys work to help people accomplish.
Well, we're going to put all 6 of those. And even though this is a list that came up that wasn't our list, all 6 of these are in our plans because we're going to address all of them. I believe in each and one of those, we do it with our clients and our prospects. That's just who we need. That's what they need to look at. And you can't have a plan without those 6 elements.
Well, again, if you need help, assistance putting that plan together, if you are concerned about your lasting financial confidence in your independence, that quality of life, you got to have a plan. That financially focused retirement plan is really what it's all about. If you'd like the book, Financial Focus, written by John Kuyendall, pick up the phone, give a call. If you'd like the Financial Focus retirement plan, pick up the phone and get in touch with the team from Gulf Coast Financial Services. A quick question you can get answered over the phone, but for a look at your planning, to have that snapshot of where you are, the discussion of your goals, and then recommendations for executable action items steps you can take in order to achieve those goals. Get that full financial focus retirement plan. 386-755-9018, the number to call, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, or you can go online, gulfcoastfinancial.net, gulfcoastfinancial.net. And John, I know that you and your team do a bang-up job there in serving the community, helping retirement-minded savers and investors formulate those plans, and thank you for being here as the resource, providing the guidance and insight that we all need to hear.
Well, thank you, Peter, and I hope you have a great 4th of July and a great celebration. And I know you had a birthday not too long ago, so you're a little older, so maybe you won't burn your fingers at the fireworks.
No, around our area it's been pretty dry, so I think we're gonna try to stay away from the home show anyway. Risk mitigation there. John, we appreciate the time. Thank you for being here. Happy 4th of July holiday to you as well, and everyone listening or tuning in to the podcast. We appreciate the time. John and his team, the value of this program is that they are there available for you. Give them a call, be in touch, 386-755-9018, and we'll look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuyendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.